This is a little bit of a palate cleanser in a sense to a lot of the politics and the news that we do on this show. I thought it was an intriguing topic and subject and author and someone who has a history in this space. And here's what it is. You know, the loss of a pet, the loss of our companion animals in our home, in our lives can be devastating. I mean, can be more devastating often than the loss of another family member. I mean, I hear this over and over and over again. And Beth Bigler is someone who deals in this world of bereavement associated with the loss of a pet. She's helped so many people through this process, through her counseling. Well, she wrote a book, and it's called Honoring Our Animals, 365 Meditations for Healing After Pet Loss. And I thought, gosh, it's different than the stuff that we typically talk about on the show sometimes, but I like that this show has the capacity to handle a conversation like this. And so I'm so excited because I think it's an important conversation and an important process that many of us couldn't be helped by. So how about it for Beth Bigler, everyone?
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be here, and thank you for normalizing and validating pet loss grief.
Oh my gosh, it's one of those things that hits you so hard. And you point out, and if you knock around on Reddit, you can see all the people that Beth has helped through the years. But you point out in your writings that we do this thing where we go, look, I know it's only my dog, but we're really hit hard by it. Like, we have to excuse it. I know she's only my cat, but she was 15 and we love her. Or we'll say the kids really love her. It's like we have to justify the heartbreak we have, which is sad because why isn't the heartbreak legitimate just on its own?
Absolutely. Well, pet loss is in a category of grief that we call disenfranchised grief, which might be a new word for some of the listeners. And a disenfranchised grief is a type of grief that is not socially or culturally acknowledged or mourned. Nobody sets up a meal train for you when your dog dies. And we don't get bereavement days off work when it's the loss of an animal family member. So, because of this already disenfranchised grief in our society, people who are grieving and feeling this loss so deeply often start invalidating themselves. They start saying, oh, maybe I am, quote, too upset or, quote, overreacting. And it starts this whole cycle of shame and invalidation. So not only are we not validated by external forces, we then start invalidating ourselves inside.
Oh, that's such a good point. We kind of societally, it's not recognized. They don't have, you don't sit Shiva for your cat, or you don't have a wake for your dog. And somehow, you're right, it's bumped into another category, and so that undercuts the legitimacy of your grief. Wow, that's a really interesting point. So the book is literally a meditation for every day. I mean, it's fascinating. That's why it's 365 meditations for healing after pet loss. Honoring Our Animals is what the book is called. So you really take, and it's not just like a one sentence thing. You really work through a lot of the emotions that many feel through this loss every day.
Absolutely. One of the reasons it's 365 days of support is because for people who are grieving a beloved companion, their grief continues and continues in every single element of their daily routine, in aspects of their identity. So many people have a huge identity revolving around their beloved and their care for their beloved, the activities they do with their beloved. So this type of grief takes so long to adjust to, not to mention all the complex emotions going on, like guilt and longing and shock and anger and comparison and jealousy and unanswered questions and what ifs. So I like in the book to approach sort of three major things. Number one, how do we cope with those big feelings, those kind of grief symptoms, the brain fog, all the things we experience? I also like to focus on this aspect of identity. How can we help discover ourselves? How can we be kinder to ourselves? Who are we now in this new normal? And the third part, which is something I'm known for, is helping us stay in connection with our beloveds. I do not believe our relationship with them ends just because they are no longer earthside. How can we continue to include them in our lives like the honored ancestors that they are? How can we take their gifts, guidance, lessons, and teachings to inspire us and live their legacy in the world? So also, I have a lot of ideas on how to stay connected and build rituals that continue your relationship with your beloved.
I love that about this book. You actually speak to the fact that the loss is there, but it's not the creature, the magical relationship, who that creature was is not gone. Actually, your relationship with all of those things that was your dog, your cat, your parrot, whatever it might be, it continues. I love that. And it's important, I think, and it helps with the grief.
Absolutely. And, if you hear me talk about it or my clients talk about it, our Instagram community, many of us also speak in present tense about our beloveds. It is not a was for us, it's an is. We are in relationship with our beloveds. We are in collaboration with them. It looks different. It's a bit of a translation from when they were Earthside. But for myself and for many of us, it is a living wellspring that we can continue to give to and receive from.
So many people in the chat, I'm just watching it during our conversation, are all about it. I mean, it's so relatable. We all, um, Dan says, tell me it's just a cat and see what happens. I mean, people don't like the reduction of these creatures to some other status. They are family members.
Absolutely. Listen, and we have research on this, and anecdotally, I've sat with over 1,000 clients and worked with tens of thousands of people through my Instagram community. We know that this type of loss can hit us sometimes even harder and differently than human loss. First of all, this daily routine, our beloveds are entwined in all of it. The physicality, many people touch their pets more than they touch a partner in the day-to-day basis. The intimacy, the sharing, all of that is different than most human relationships. Also, when's the last time your pet lied to you or made you feel bad about yourself or had an unrealistically high expectation for your life? All of these gifts that we receive from our beloveds may be things we've never even felt with the human before. And so there's a lot of reasons why this is so complex, and our brain has a really tough time. Our neurons really have a hard time with this adjustment. And so we experience massive discombobulation. So anybody who's minimizing this grief is kind of out of line, both emotionally, but also from a brain perspective.
We have 4 cats now, 3 because my sweet Moki's gone. But my Charlie has been in bad shape for about 5 years. He's real. I mean, we keep thinking that he's circling the drain, but he hangs on, and he's, I want to say, 18 now or something like that. And man, he yells at me. People who watch the show know because I've mentioned Charlie before, but he yells at me like I'm his bitch. He does not want to. You talk about, well, you have this special relationship, and I love Charlie, but gosh, he does boss me around. And I have to say, I'm wanting to, and I'm getting to a point where it's not just about Charlie, but I'm wanting to do all I can for him, even while he barks at me. He's a cat, but he'll just. I mean, seriously, he just shouts at me almost because I want the best life I can provide. And I think a lot of people who have that relationship have a sense of responsibility. And so when the loss comes, you feel like, I've done all I can.
Well, it's awfully tough. And by the way, Charlie's giving you some interesting gifts, guidance, lessons, and teachings there too. My cat Zelda transitioned a couple years ago. She was 19 years old. She was crusty. She was a little touchy. But guess what Zelda taught me about? She taught me about boundaries. Zelda did things on her own terms, and she taught me so much about drawing lines and setting boundaries. So sometimes even our beloveds who maybe don't have that warm, fuzzy sort of, yes, I'm connected to your soulmate energy presence, they are bringing a whole lot to support us, teach us, and guide us.
Sure. And we have our moments, Charlie, where he's wonderful with the bond, but he wants you there all the time with him. He feels lonely. I think he feels the life force being drained from him at some point. Now doesn't leave the room. He can go anywhere in the house and he won't leave that room because he feels weak. And a lot of animals toward the end, I think, feel physically compromised and they feel vulnerable. So Honoring Our Animals is the book. 365 Meditations for Healing After Pet Loss. There it is, Beth Bigler. And we'll have a link to the book and the purchase. Tony's going to put that up under this video. So if you want to find it, you can. So many people are commenting, Beth. You'll be happy to know the community seems to have really, this lands. I mean, a lot of people understand this. Scott says, thanks to Beth Bigler, I'm getting this book today. So I know, as I say, if you knock around Reddit, if you knock around the internet, you're on Instagram as well. You've got a big Instagram account. I think it's Honoring Our Animals on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So continued success, and congratulations on the work you do. And thank you for spending some time with us. Again, it's Honoring Our Animals, 365 Meditations for Healing After Pet Loss. There's Beth's Instagram account. Tony's got it up now. Thank you again, my dear. Good luck.
Thanks, Mark. And thanks, Moki.
And so,
You know what we didn't talk about with Beth? I didn't hear you mention it. We did talk about the book, which she's, I know, promoting, but she has a whole service, which I thought was really interesting, of online therapy that she does. So if you're someone that's undergoing grief after the loss of a pet, you can book an online consultation with her, which is very cool, because I think she's right in that, some people might look askance at you if are really feeling so harshly the loss of a pet that you need to go, to maybe a counselor in your community would go, over your dog, right? But here you have someone that understands and that is offering help to get you through it. So I like that she's doing that.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.